Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, listen to some Michael right here. I don't give a damn what Robeson said.
I don't care what background dancer is mad. You know what I mean?
You know, like, that's what, you know what? That's what all this stuff seems to be about, though. Maybe the ones that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, did you hear how, like, eventually it was really about how Homeboy was supposed to play Michael on, like, the Cirque du Soleil show in Vegas, and they chose somebody else, and then right after that, he was like, oh, he used to touch me. Just like, what? Convenient.
Mm-hmm. I mean, any way to just betray people that worked with you, man. I mean, like, that's just a damn shame. It's like, if you were really worth your salt, and I had to think about this for quite some time. If you're really worth your salt, you have nothing to complain about. If you did all the fucking work and everything, and you managed to make it out, and you never had to deal with those toxic people ever again, I think you got off. You got to think about that.
Yeah, you got off pretty simple on that one.
Like, I always look at people like that, and I see like who they have there because they don't know any better, being like drained out and everything, like disillusionment, like not like what I had, but severe, real severe, just kick in. It's like, why are you still working over there then?
Isn't that weird that people, I think, like, people would rather bitch than like figure it out? You know, that's another thing I've noticed too, is like, so that's kind of the shady part about that Robeson guy. Like, you know, because I mean, God only knows what happened with like Michael previously, but like when someone says, oh, but you know, this also all comes after, like, you know, Homeboy, they didn't pick you for that fucking live show, and he's like, well, yeah, I was kind of bitter about that. Okay.
I mean, evidently, yeah.
You weren't bitter before when supposedly he did like all this real bad shit to you? Like, that doesn't...
Mm-hmm.
I'd have been bitter then, not now.
I mean, I like, if anything, I think it's a moment when somebody gets triggered and realize they have enough time to go at people, like all that stuff about like Kevin Spacey and everything, which has been debunked. Well, not guilty. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention one of those fools that took him to court mysteriously died.
Yes.
Know? Like, so maybe, like, where there's smoke, there's fire, but do you want that fire to kill you? Probably not.
Evidently not. But at the same time, I mean, while there's credible evidence there, it's like, if you knew that this person was a problem for you, why do you stay? If you knew that these things are just going to get worse, why not just pack it in?
Yeah. Like, it's one thing if you're like that first dude who took Kevin Spacey to court, I think was like a kid technically at the time, like old enough to finally file like paperwork, but second fool was like a full grown person, right? I think, or something like that.
The second one was, definitely. Yeah.
And that's, you know, it's tough because also the world of being like a sexually assaulted male, I think, is perceived differently too.
Oh yeah, like, because it doesn't happen as frequently, or what they say, it doesn't happen at all. But this is also the same world that has a problem with the idea of women stalking other women and women hurting other women and all that other stuff. Like, that never happens, but it does.
It happens a lot.
You know?
It happens a lot.
Like everything that Barbie was complaining about in that Barbie movie. I'm like, these are not what men would say. These are what other women would say.
And that's the funny thing, is like the shit was written by women. and it still
I mean,
magically seemed out of touch.
oh yeah, and tried to attribute it to anybody that's a man, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but you don't want to hear what men have to say.
No, not at all.
Suffer in silence much, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. Like the whole thing with this society, like how we talk about it on this show or how we talk about it every week. Speaking of which, we're a little light. Are we a 2-man front tonight, or what's going on?
Say what?
Are we a 2-man front tonight? Eric, where you at, man?
Yeah. What didn't he responded to the group thing, right?
I think he did. Hey, is he in Texas or something? Is he like gone away for a little while?
Is he still out of town?
I don't know.
Did
Let
he
me
show
see,
up for a second?
He was on our group chat. He was talking to me about Street Fighter not too long ago, but I don't think he said anything about popping in.
Yeah. But when I said like this week, he was like down for it for Thursday.
Well, yeah, I don't know. You know, group chats can get kind of congested sometimes. So maybe he probably forgot the date or something. But no problems. I talked to you anyway, so
Yeah,
I'm here.
Like, let's see.
But yeah. I was like, huh, hey. I do the same with Al too. Al's okay. He's going through some things, but he's okay.
Yeah.
I think just about every single one of us is kind of going through something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, you know,
yeah.
no.
Man.
It took me a while to think about that. Like the last time we did, it seemed like I was out of it because I was really going through something. I don't know how to, you know, to go ahead and tell everybody that because usually I solve my own problems.
Yeah.
But you know, I hope I didn't bring anything down on you or something. You know?
No. I mean, I hope everything's all right. I had no idea. So.
Oh yeah. Everything's cool now, man. I'm back 100% in every damn thing. I'm just like, you know, like I just figured, hey, like I know that we are allowed to be heard and allowed to talk and all that stuff, but it's like I got to do something about it. I can't just let it sit there, and I did. Yeah. So I'm 100% okay, which is why like 302 was a lighter note than 301 and 300 were. Of course, 300 I was going after AI because I was like, once again, this is technology made in a world that is overwhelmed by choice and has no responsibility, even though at the same time, you got to be responsible about this stuff.
Yeah.
Whether you're rich, whether you're not. I mean, the point is, it's access in the public. When it's in public access, that's already a problem.
Yeah, okay. So you bring up a good point because I'm kind of blown away that ChatGPT is so fucking readily available in every single app I've ever heard of already.
It sure is.
Like, I saw this ad, no joke, for like a conversation app. Like when you're lonely, go talk to like a chat AI bot, right?
Replica AI, yep.
And it's fucking, it's run on ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, which is like, dog, like get a fucking diary. Like, what did like people are acting like no one had a way to filter out loneliness at some point. Like, but what did we do for thousands of years? You know,
man,
like
what
the fuck?
You know, in a way, they talk. You make up a good point on that too. Yeah, because you know, anytime whip out a composition book, write stuff down, like all your innermost things. Your grandfathers and grandmothers did that for years.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, put that stuff in a book and then make sure like that's a book only you know where it is and nobody else. But see, once again, people don't understand privacy until like they get caught in some stuff.
Yeah.
They don't understand like, you know, all this technology right here has a cost. Like when you buy something on Amazon, you get a receipt copy, Amazon gets a receipt copy, but that data still goes somewhere.
Yeah, it gets backed up on a server like 4 times over or whatever.
And then chances are out of those 4 servers, one of them isn't as maintained as the other 3 are, and chances are it'll go on the dark web or any of that other stuff.
Yeah.
That's how we keep getting robocalls and all those other things. But once again, if people paid attention, cut down on that consumption and all that stuff, instead of being angry about Donald Trump and his indictments or the Hunter Biden laptop, I mean, maybe then things would be a lot more orderly.
Isn't that funny though? Like, dude, I even got an email from my fucking gas company that was like, if you get, be wary of false calls pretending to be us. Like, an email was like explaining what this fake call was, like your debt to the gas company.
Nah.
And I thought, man, this is the perfect time for me to pretend that I don't owe the gas company anything. I can be like, I got all this shit in the mail. I thought the ChatGPT sent me that fucking letter. I thought that was fake.
It might as well be, because like they're doing what they can to try to liquidate that stuff because they don't want to pay nobody anything.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so think about this: the gas company charges you for the use of the gas, right? But who does the fucking gas company pay?
Yes.
Right, because
that's a good example.
Company, where the like, what do you pay yourself? Isn't that fucking laundering?
I mean, hey, to be honest with you, every year those guys are making killer bank up there in them board meetings and stuff. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh,
dude! It's just like this year I read or heard some YouTube video, whatever, or editorial, whatever, about how, if you notice, isn't it funny how this whole summer there hasn't been power grid fluctuations because it rained so much across the country? But then when it was raining, they were like, this is the end of the world. It means that summer there's going to be so many rolling blackouts that blah, blah, blah. So out of all that like electrical fucking battery operated car, solar power shit, hydropower is still like running the world for us. It's none of the wind turbines. You know what I mean? Like, right. It's the fucking old school dams. And I thought, right. What the fuck? Like, so all this push, and they're like, isn't that amazing that the old dam is creating all this energy for us? Like, you mean like what it was meant to do? Like, why don't we build a bunch of these like along the coast? That'd be incredible.
I guess they think the Hoover Dam is just there for show. I don't know. It's just like,
it made me think, like, are these fucking reporters retarded?
Yes, like, that's a very true
they
answer.
Don't know
Quite
what
a lot
the
of
Hoover
them.
Dam is for? Like, what the fuck?
Because people are not teaching people anymore. No. They're not teaching them anything, and you're getting a lot of these. Let's just say, like, like how some of us have been in the media game for quite some time. Well, the way like media always tries to recycle people out, they try to get all the old people out or move them up into like areas that don't even matter. Yeah. And then move all the young and dumb in and just pay them whatever.
Yes, sir.
So that's what they're banking on. Just all of that right there. They want people to be ignorant because the blind leading the blind is a better way to control people.
Dude.
That's what this is all about.
Speaking of which, I found out, like, everyone acts like the Netflix thing is like kind of wild, but like kind of out of their sphere. Me and my wife, a friend of ours, he got laid off from Netflix out of nowhere. Right, but so think about this though. He was a part of like operating the servers that holds all the media. So they would like migrate servers when like stuff was like either old or getting like spun out of rotation and shit like that. Right, whatever.
Right.
He straight up just got fired like out of the blue.
I guess they're trying to go ahead and automate that service or some shit.
I bet you it's a fucking AI that's going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Just like like Spotify has like a whole AI DJ on there and stuff, and somebody was bragging about that.
My lady was listening to that, and it creeps me out, dude.
Yeah, it's accurate, isn't it?
Out. Oh my gosh, man!
Oh man, because
you know how they say dogs can sense evil, like animals can sense like when something's not right, like they see something that's
spider sense is on high, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard it for like a split second. It was like the person talking or whatever, and it immediately did not sound normal. It was the weirdest thing. Like the hairs on the back of my neck were like, huh? Like, what the hell is that? The devil? like
multiple sound frequencies that technically we ain't supposed to hear unless we in danger. Yeah, is going through that shit.
Noises that just jumbled together sound like English is what that computer was doing. And the weirdest part was like damn, it's already been like it's been there. I mean, that's running the streaming game forever is algorithms. I mean, an algorithm is just an AI.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I remember mentioning that, like, this is a whole collective of codes because you notice now, because these things are running things, there hasn't been a whole push about an hour of code like during the Obama years. Remember that shit? Like an hour of code, everything code, learn to code.
It makes you miss.
None of that's being pushed.
It makes you miss like that. Remember the George W. Bush era, like the fear of like Y2K. Remember that shit? Where they were like, "Oh my god, the computers are gonna go to zero, and they're all gonna explode." Like, what the fuck? Clocks have been doing that forever. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, it's really going to do that at midnight, right? As many times as midnight goes around and everything fluctuates and shit, like our paychecks, for instance, and you're telling me that all the computers are going to do this.
Oh, yeah. And that's the funny thing, too, is like, could you imagine, like, did they actually even ground airplanes on that year? Like, at midnight? Weren't there, like, no
Hell
flights?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
That's money.
So, like, imagine being on the flight and going, wait a minute, and then realizing they let me get a fucking plane ticket. That's how you know these corporations don't give a flying fuck about you. Pun intended.
At all.
You know,
at all.
It's just like someone was on a plane at 11:59 flying in the air going, uh-oh. I'm about to find out if this shit's real or not. And it's not. You know?
Oh man, I feel the same way about that every time February rolls around, and they always talk about amplify black voices. I was like, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that shit,
yeah, if you don't suck my dick or get the fuck out of here with that,
I'm like, oh hell no, I'm black every damn day of the year. Y'all get the fuck out of here with this.
And most of the time, I don't get reminded about it until I fucking open an app. That's just like, hey, are you black? And you're like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah.
Like, damn, racist ass question.
Or like when I celebrate July the 4th, because, dude, I'll celebrate July the 4th. I'll celebrate Juneteenth. You know why? Because it didn't give a fuck. If there was a war on and you were a slave, you're going, bitch.
Dog,
that's the thing.
If there's a war on right now, you're going.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah. Case in point, speaking of which, this would have been great if, like, okay, so I found out that fucking, like, some Asian guy who was stationed in the military out here, like in San Diego, and they found two other Asian guys in the military, I think, allegedly. What, I don't know what you say to not get in trouble, but these fools were selling secrets to China, and then they found out that they were employees of the Chinese government.
Well, no kidding.
And these fools were like Marines and Navy, like, you know, seamen and shit like that. And
right.
I just thought that was funny as shit. Like all the crazy zany unspeakable shit, like the shit you couldn't say 2 years ago, like, oh, maybe some of these people were like Chinese operatives because of that whole like COVID leak. Remember that shit where you couldn't even say that? You couldn't even say like maybe it's a bioweapon. People would call you like a racist for saying that.
Yeah.
But like fools from the Middle East were sending like anthrax to people and SARS, and that's a bioweapon, and we were okay totally expecting it to be from like if a bomb went off or something exploded, you thought it was like a Middle Eastern guy.
Right.
You know, and the news would like wink at you like, oh, we found a fucking turban at this. Like, you're just like, dog. You know, like racist shit. And then like now they're like very quietly under the rug saying that like, and these people were also employees of the Chinese government, and just like ending the news story. And you're like, hold on a second.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to catch it at that time.
But here's the thing. You just said a war. Those actions declare war technically. You've infiltrated the military at the like ground and pound Marine level.
At supreme clearance.
Right.
So if you're able to get in there and
get like pretty much schematics and weaponry schematics and all that shit, like, dog, we're at war, right?
I mean, well, yeah, I think we've kind of been at war for quite some time.
It's just
crazy. That shit's been cold, you know, like Cold Wars and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that stuff's been going on for quite some time, and I think a lot of people forget because, you know, they understand the idealism of like, you know, but they don't understand the real war things. Yeah, nobody's been friendly for quite some time. Like the world leaders, they go golfing and shit like that, but you know, them motherfuckers are more shade than anything. So it's like real politics.
Yeah,
you know, that's what they call it. It's called real politics.
It's funny, man. Like, I just thought, like, damn, man. But then again, like, I better freshen up on some Call of Duty, because that's probably the only real kind of war we're going to be fighting is some fucking, like, drone war, cyber soldier shit. You know?
Oh man, you've read Fahrenheit 451, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if anything, you and I will know about it, but everybody else, no. They're too busy worried about getting those TikTok views and everything else, which is also China owned and which is stealing China data and US data too.
Yeah, which is so funny because between that book and like 1984, like we're living in like the weirdest blend of those two things.
Oh, well, hey, let me throw a third one in there. Brave New World because of the chase system and follower count.
Oh, yeah.
That shit's like right there.
You can say the wrong thing and then like Chase can turn Kanye West bank accounts off.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking nutty. Yeah, that's scary shit.
All that shit is like right there in front of us, man. And it's just like we know about it though. That's why we talk about it every time. Yeah. But it's like that whole thing where like they said and the jets are still flying, but nobody knew about that. That's some scary shit. Like if you know like certain people know about this damn thing, but not everybody else does, and then the whole city explodes because of a nuclear warhead, but they did not know about it. Oh, that's just a scary way to go out. Ignorant death, you know?
And the trip of these things, like even how it relates to like the UFO phenomena shit now happening. Not even a phenomena, because that makes it sound like a myth, you know, like Bigfoot.
Right.
But like that the military at these meetings can be like, okay, this one we kind of understand how it operates, but there's a grip of them that are pretty sure are not from Earth. And if they are, they're from like the depths of the Earth, like below the ocean. What the fuck does that mean? A demon? Like, I've seen Hellboy. What the fuck does that mean? Like, what the fuck do you mean below the Earth?
That's pretty badass though. Subterranean.
It's kind of like trippy because it makes all that shit true, you know. But like, I don't want to hear that. Then they're like, up next, Lizzo sexually assaulted people with bananas, and you're
right.
Like, hold on, you just tell me that like, oh, so even further back, they said that the Earth's inner core stopped rotating. Did you hear about that shit?
I believe it.
Okay, so they said that it stopped rotating, and according to geologists, what they've examined is that it looks like the Earth's core might have an outer metal shell that operates more like a machine than like a molten core.
Interesting.
And I thought
that's pretty interesting, yeah.
Okay, and then now, mind you, the UFO phenomenon, and they're coming from the depths of the ocean.
Well,
and then you know, you get a little like haywire brain, but then you look at like Kong versus Godzilla,
right?
And
Hollow Earth, yeah,
right. And there's a lot of like media infiltration of kind of exposing some of the truth a little bit at a time. Like Red Dawn. Why would we ever need to see that fucking movie?
Well,
you know? And then the reboot is like, it's the two enemies we still have, right?
Yes.
And I just thought like, what the fuck? And then the like, Lizzo called somebody fat.
Well, we both know why they throw that soft news up. That's just definitely to distract us and everything. So, you know, instead of us actually paying attention to the real problems, let's just go deal with some first world problems, such as like Lizzo sexually assaulting people. Yes. But at the same time, slay queen, slay. Body positivity. Fat bitches are in.
The trippiest part, too, is that, like, to me, I was more shocked at the Lizzo news than, like, the Earth core stopped spinning and some of these aliens could possibly be demons. Like, that I can more comprehend than someone going like, somebody made me eat a banana out of a sex worker's vagina. I'd have been like, dog, you should be locked up for murder if Lizzo made you do that.
The money can't be that fucking good, man.
There's
I'm
no
just
way,
saying.
Dog. There's no way.
The money can't be that
There's
good.
no way. And if someone is Lizzo's dancer, how much dance moves are you teaching that broad? No way.
I mean, she ain't getting no screen time because Lizzo takes up all the fucking space.
Yeah. Background dancer where? I can't even fucking see anything. You know what's crazy? If Lizzo calls you fat, you fucked up. That's it.
That is crazy, though. It's like, hey. Can you even fit in this mirror, bitch? I mean, think about it.
I'd be like, fuck you.
Like, oh, my God.
Out of all the things to not be recorded on a cell phone, too, you know?
Right.
It's like, it's you know, the same excuse people say when they see, like, when there's, like, aliens, well, how come it's never like 4K footage of like an alien walking around or whatever? And you're like, well, the same thing goes for this fucking Lizzo saying I was fat. Like, wouldn't that be the most viral shit ever? Lizzo feeding you a banana from a person's vagina?
And telling you that you're fat. And not only that, I'd be like, have you ever seen past your belly button, bitch? Think about it.
Yeah, dog. Like, when you walk, your knees buckle, okay? Like, don't bother me.
They're rubbing around like a New York subway saying, excuse me, pardon me. I mean, I don't understand,
They work like a turnstile. They kind of like overlap on each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Cottage cheese looks worse every time.
Your thighs look like a lava lamp moving within itself like that.
The only light she has is cellulite.
Fuck, man. It's just, oh my God.
Just like for real. But the whole thing about aliens, I'm sitting there thinking this. I'm like, I also wonder how people are surprised because we've been having all of those things for years. I'm just like,
what the whole tell me about like him being out in the field in the military as a Marine, like the Middle East, and seeing super weird shit. Weird shit. And he was already like a Star Trek fan before going, right? So as a kid, he was like, sci-fi nerd before it was cool. Like how our generation can like embrace it and show it off and shit.
Yes.
So him being out there, he said it was just like, I would be like 8 years old, 9, like not really under comprehending. Then mind you, like my step grandfather like worked for the military on like aeronautical programs, but couldn't tell us anything either. So
right.
He would like make funny jokes. I remember him telling me this when I was like 11. Because you see that TV right there? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, they can, pretty soon they're going to be able to watch you through that.
And like, they do.
What? And this is like in fucking not even 2000 yet. When everyone still had square TVs and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And
we had those big fat backs and everything.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Even your big screen it was flat, but like the back of it was 100,000 pounds. You couldn't
damn right.
Anywhere. And
all the CRT tubes back there.
Oh fuck! And so I just remember going like, "What? That's crazy." And then like I turned like 17, and you hear about these, and then 9/11 happens, and you realize that there's like a whole Big Brother state where like before light poles had cameras on the outside, like the bulbs had cameras on the inside. And you're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Hold on a second. What was he telling me way back when? That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, Star Trek became real, and the truth is that like to this day we still can't travel anywhere with a whole bunch of shit though.
That's the thing. Like we went to the moon, and then fucking airplanes suck. Like dog, what the fuck?
Hey, depending on how much the pilot is drinking and how much the union isn't doing shit for you.
Man, I tell you what, I've seen enough like rough inside the airplane footage to literally like solidify in my mind I'm probably going to take a train or drive everywhere. Because man, planes I don't know, planes look gnarly right now.
Oh man, and none of them look good. And even then, we're not even talking about the staff. It's other fucking passengers too. Like, the one person that's outraged or had like a reaction to the one that's just triggered, and the plane ain't gonna go any faster or anywhere. Yeah. I was like, oh no. Because they have all those people in that one party. They don't separate the party. If you ain't flying, you ain't flying.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts on you. One of your people made a fucking boo-boo in here. You're all gone. And then the worst part is the fucking meltdown.
Yes.
Like I saw this video where it was an air traffic control report of an airplane that had an explosion on the inside of it. They said there was a hole now in the plane and somebody fell out of it.
Oh, damn.
And the lady's just explaining it like whatever. And the guy taking in the emergency report's like, okay, what about? And he's like, wait a minute. You said someone fell out of it? Like his response was completely human. And she's like, uh-huh. Like nonchalant. I'm thinking,
she's been there. She's been there for quite some time.
And I'm thinking like, I always thought that like if a hole got punctured in a plane, this shit went down. Right? Like, has every movie lied to me or?
I mean, it's gonna go down one way or another, but
I don't. Yeah.
It's like
I was like, what the?
Those people in them offices, though, those are some of the coldest motherfuckers ever. God bless them, man.
Yeah, it's like
Like the ones that
911 calls and the operator's just like mad rude. It almost like makes your blood boil.
It does. And then, like, if you know there's like a real legitimate case and a real crime here, and they're asking you for like really pretentious questions and stuff, it's like, what in the fuck is this? I need help right now. Otherwise, I'm gonna be a suspect.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be like, a woman will be calling, going like, I think there's a guy here, he's trying to rape me or whatever. And the woman goes, ma'am, could you speak loud and clearly and tell me what your address is? Where are you? And you're like, dog, there's somebody in my house. Can you just like ping my location and can I just leave this shit on?
And with the ping right there, that should be enough. You should be able to see where this is.
They start asking you like, what address, what zip code, what are the cross streets? I'm like, dog, I'm in the middle of being robbed. I'm not. Come on now. I thought you could track me through my fucking telephone, right? Do it.
And they can, but oh my God, the bureaucracy of shit.
It's fucking bizarre. It's like when it's not cool, you know, when it's not the right time, it's the perfect time for them to pull out all the rules, you know? This is like, you said, like the bureaucracy part of it. It's just like, you know, it's like someone goes missing and they won't ping the cell phone or they'll give you this, we had to triangulate cell towers to blah, blah, blah to access the whatever, right? Then we had to call the phone company. But if like you if you're on the lawn of the Capitol, they'll find your fucking name and address.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you were just kicking it there on a lawn chair on January 6th, they'll find your name, address, your family's name. Like, okay, so you're lying about your abilities to reach out to people. That's a lot.
I think somebody, like when I used to go to this pizza joint at one time, I always used to talk to the owner and everything because we were cool like that, and it was the early days of J360. And he said like it's that proximity thing, Jay. Usually like it's proximity. It has to be important when it is.
Right.
That's when it gets it out. And the matters of importance usually comes down to, you know, either something so superficial or at the same time, something important to them, like race. Like, remember when they were talking about, what was her name? Gabby Petito and her missing?
Yep.
But I'm like, there are people that go missing in that same area of various colors all the time. Did you ever find them or put this energy towards that? But no, they never do.
I mean, the ironic part, too, where it's like, they even mentioned when she went missing that people go into that area and, like, kill themselves all the time. And that they were just like finding bodies all over the place. Like, what the fuck? Like, dog, how is that even possible? Like,
and say it casually.
Working there? Yeah. Like, if I litter or take a shit in the woods and I don't get a permit for it, you'll find me. But if I go in there and kill myself, you won't find me. How is that fucking possible?
Proximity, dude. Like, it got to be a matters of importance. Kind of like when somebody goes to like a state park or something like that, and they like paint on one of the rocks or something, that's considered graffiti, and you can get banned off of multiple different land areas and stuff because they say that you deface the park.
Think about this. You can't paint the rock, but a bird can shit on it.
Right.
So,
like,
you're like eco-friendly oil-based paint. Your watercolors.
I mean, if it's watercolor, it'll go away after a while, especially when it rains. But they don't see it that way, or you use like chalk or anything. It's just that, you know, and that's another example of bureaucracy. Yeah, there's rules to this, what you can't do. But, you know, that's just in the States over here. But, you know, if we were in an area like Denmark or Norway or some shit, them motherfuckers hate each other. They will flat out throw rules at each other for no reason.
Yeah. And then everyone goes like, why can't we be a more open-minded society like Denmark or like Iceland? And you're like, dog, those people are mad racist and there are no open borders. Okay.
And not to mention they used to invade each other all the time. So, you know, musical chairs.
Yeah, you know, the whole raping and pillaging shit that white people are kind of known for? Well, white people love to do that to other white people mostly, which is what's fucking really crazy. So, if you look at a history book, it's just Vikings raping and fighting each other. It wasn't like a group of minorities involved in that really, you know? Like, if you look at the spectrum of history, there's far more like white on white raping and pillaging
than anything.
Because they hate each other. Like, I don't know what it is, but white people tend to really just not like each other.
I mean, if you fight over land and shit like that, that's pretty much what it comes down to sometimes too. Because, you know, I had this first. Oh no, I had that first. Oh, I had this first. I'm coming in. I'm coming to get it. Hey, you motherfuckers kill each other. I'm taking it over.
Yeah.
That whole
Yeah.
thing, you know.
I'll
it's
sit
just-
back. That's the whole Napoleon thing. I'll sit back and wait. I'll make everybody fight each other, and then I'll walk in and go, "Oh, it's mine now."
And that's funny about him because here's the thing: when he used to do that shit, he did not decide to do that before going to Russia, right? Like, what the fuck was that?
Yep. Yeah. Isn't that fucking
Make
crazy?
the first move. Yeah,
That's fucking
that big
nuts.
ass. Of course, at the same time, you could say, was it the Russian army that took him out, or the fucking weather? Because that, like, you know, like
Yeah.
real bad winters happen here in Delaware too, and it's like, oh, this is hell. I remember saying this. to someone when I thought
The
shoveling
bears or the snow in Russia will kill you probably before any
yes.
sort of soldier does.
Matter of fact, don't they have tigers too? Now I think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fucked.
It's some weird like magic. You know, that's why it's funny, like how much like mythology comes out of Germany and Russia. Like something about that land is like very unreal.
Yeah.
Like there's tigers and bears, but it's all snow.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's nutty.
And if they're hungry and they out for the hunt, and you happen to be
Ooh.
there with no armament at all,
Yeah.
that's your last day.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine having to come face to face with the bear. Like, did you see that Bear Man documentary? You ever
Which
see
one,
that shit?
Grizzly Man?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Grizzly Man's a fucking idiot.
God.
Him and his-
And
him and
they're
his girl-
explaining like the bear was so strong that it hit him in the head and fucking lobbed his whole head off.
Of course.
That is fucking crazy. That is like some anime final boss type shit, like one hit kill. Like, what would you rather have, a bear knock your fucking head off or like a tiger eat your arm?
Either, you know, it'd be quick with the bear.
You'd hope. Because, like, what if you're like a chicken and you won't find out until it actually happens, where like your head's off, but your body's gone? You know, like, what if you
True,
have like a good
true.
2 minutes of like, oh my God. Like,
You know, it's funny you bring that up because you do have 2 minutes where you actually are active.
that's what I'm
damn.
saying. And so, like, what, like, your brain isn't like a light switch unless it gets like shot by a bullet, you know? So,
Right. Well, I was
unless
hoping as
oxygen-
soon as
what do you say?
I was hoping as soon as them claws would hit, they would penetrate my brain and then pling. You know
I'd
what I mean?
hope,
Like that.
yeah,
But,
exactly. I hope the
like-
bear wouldn't just like bitch slap me and like
You know,
my face hurts and my head's off, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm in pain
Ah.
and shit. You know, my body, my neck.
because them fucking claws. I think claws are not only sharp, but they're hollow too. So it's like if you're gonna get hit, you're gonna get hit. It's just like, oh
Yeah, if you swing them hard enough, they might even whistle.
yeah.
You know, and you're dead. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, a bear encounter is like one of the most scariest things that a person, not just saying a man, because usually
Anyone.
a man has to go through. Anybody
Yeah.
go through is a scary fucking thing. I always look up like bear documentaries and how to solve this stuff. You know, they say like with a black bear, you're supposed to be able to look bigger than the bear and try to make loud noises to scare it.
That shit's 10 feet tall.
I know. And then they say for the brown bear, you're supposed to lay dead. I'm like,
Could you imagine
motherfucker, I'm gonna
having to stand
die.
up in front of a bear and be like, "Ah!" I'd be like, I would stop halfway through and probably start laughing before I die. Like, dog, I'm an idiot. Like, whoever set this up was the biggest troll in history. Like, he probably wrote way back when in 1770 something. Lois and Clark were assholes like that. Like, yeah, they
Right?
died, but they gave me a bunch of fake information. Like, hey, you know, if you fucking put breadcrumbs, you'll find your way back. Psych, animals will eat it. Second, like, put your hands in the air and start going, ah, when the bear comes, so everyone can laugh at you
Like-
and they fucking
like-
watch you get mauled to death.
Like when I read that shit, I looked over at my pops because I was over there with him the other day, and I said, "Dad, I don't think bears discriminate, do they?" He's
Hell
like,
no. Dude,
he's like, "Ain't no way."
we'll close on this because this is a great. This is already a legendary session. So I'm gonna post this shit as soon as possible. But like,
Oh yeah,
a bear is the reason to own a shotgun.
yeah, that and the moose.
Yes, yeah, a shot, like a fucking like Arnold Schwarzenegger like T2 style pump and repeat. Like, don't fucking stop shooting the shotgun shit.
not
Like a
not
Smith
at all.
and Wesson style, you know, old west like hand crank pump shotgun.
Especially if those motherfuckers have a taste for human blood. They ain't no safety then.
I have a feeling every bear I've ever seen on the video, I've thought like that's at least eaten like one stupid hippie, you know.
At least one, but they probably didn't taste so good, so they'd go back to fruit.
And now back to Lizzo, the black bear, you know.
Ooh, man,
that beast.
It is.
Oh man, dude, this green room is gonna. I'm putting this shit up as soon as possible. I'm doing it tonight.
Oh, you know, most def, man. I'm always down for this.
Hell yeah! All right, Jay. I'll catch you on the next. We'll figure it out. We'll see when Eric's available.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Hey, by the way, gaming this weekend.
Hell yeah! Saturday.
Yeah, let's do it. Yep.
Fuck
we
yeah.
can do that.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll catch you then.
All right, man.
Peace.
Gather those you cherish most for a holiday tradition unlike any other. Don't miss the chance to celebrate the season with candlelight Christmas evenings at Biltmore. Experience America's largest home, illuminated in the soft glow of candles, crackling fireplaces, and warm holiday cheer. This is Christmas as it was meant to be. This is Christmas at Biltmore. Plan your visit at Biltmore.com.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.